I wanted to talk about a couple of things, especially that Mike may jump in and he may have a topic as well since he's wrapping that thing up in there. But I wanted to talk about 2022. It kind of snuck up on us, like on a lot of people. And when you say 2022 is in 16, 17 days, it makes a lot of people go, wait, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's some big changes coming in 2022, especially when it comes to you guys marketing. And the two little things that I wanted to hit on first before he jumps in are Google is eliminating cookies. Cookies are going away. So it's been a thing. I mean, it's been a thing as long as we've been using the internet, and it's going away. It looks like the first quarter. And this is Google's response to Apple and their whole, hey, we care about your privacy more than anything in the world. And everyone was wondering what Google was going to do. And this is what Google's doing. They're taking away cookies. So that means it's going to be much harder for you guys to track your customers and people who go to your website, follow your social media, watch your videos, do these things. It's going to be harder for you guys to do it. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to start moving your customers, your followers, the people who consume your content into your own databases and CRMs, because it is going to become much, much harder to track these folks. They're going to consume your content still. You're just not going to know about it. So with the elimination of cookies, you're going to need to start moving these guys into somewhere that you can track and that you can communicate with. And that's your CRM and your database. So start thinking about that as we wrap up the last 17 days of 2021 of how you're going to handle that Q1 in 2022. It's going to be huge, and we're going to have more information on it as this just came out. So as it rolls out, we will have more information on how you could best do that, and we'll do another one of these on that. The second thing I wanted to talk about before Mike takes over in just a minute is
you're doing good, brother. You just keep on the roll.
Is you guys have all heard this phrase, and it's kind of like it's always driven me crazy. The phrase "content is king." All right, and I think it's driven me crazy because I've heard it for 15, 18, almost 20 years. Content is king, and while that will always be the case to some degree, something more important is going to take over, and that a new phrase for 2022 is simplicity is king. You've got to get that same content across in a much simpler message. People are moving faster than ever before, and they're consuming content faster than ever before. We all thought it was a huge request when we had to cover a topic and we had to get it down under 60 seconds because we wanted it in an Instagram video, or under 60 seconds because no one would listen longer than that. Well, consumption now is running at about 15 seconds, which is why TikToks are so popular. Reels on IG is so popular. Stories on Facebook are so popular. And those numbers, the consumption numbers, views, interactions on those are so much higher than on regular posts. So this is a shift that's happening right now. You've got to start getting your content down to like 15 seconds and 15 seconds. If you have more than that, do it in 2 15-second stories or reels, or whatever platform you choose. Get it down, get the information in there and get out, because people are tapping, watching, listening, swiping, tap, watch, listen, swipe. And they're going to continue to do that. So that's something to be thinking about as you go into 2022 as well. Simplicity is king. Content's important, but simplicity is king. So get that message down, get it simple, and offer more information. The way to back that up, if it's a complicated topic, is a blog post. You have a website, add it on the blog post. You can include questions, polls, all kinds of stuff on your blog post, make it interactive. If they want to go that far, they will go that far. But if they just want that dab of information, give them that dab in 15 seconds, maybe 15 seconds for a 30, and then send them over to your website for more for those folks. Okay.
So
6
Rob,
minute.
let me jump in with you on that topic.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it is a very legitimate and common problem to say, well, I would, but I don't really know what to talk about today. I mean, I would do that, but what do I talk about? So I want to give you some ideas on how you come up with what we call relevant content. Okay. So where does it come from? How do I get it? Where do the ideas come from? Well, I'm going to encourage you to steal it. Okay. I do. Everybody else is doing it. So you get a wide array of what I'm going to call data sources. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. This morning in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the above the fold headline in big bold print on the front page, you can't miss it. I don't care who you are. If you pick up the paper, it's right there, and your content for the day is provided to you. And sometimes, like this morning's, it can give you the content for a whole week. It can give you a whole thread. So this morning's article was about job growth in the metro Atlanta area. Now, look, how many of us have heard somebody say this recently? Oh, I think the real estate market's going to crash next year. Prices are going to go down. I'm going to wait until prices go down. Manuel, have you ever had anybody say that to you? I think it's easy to be Chicken Little. I think these people are know-it-alls. They have strong opinions, though they don't really have data to support it. And it's easy to be a doomsayer. It's the end of the world as we know it. Well, if you looked at the Atlanta Journal this morning, it said, no, job growth for 2022 is projected by all the data to be stronger and more consistent than it was for the past 2 years. We have more jobs coming into the Atlanta market. Well, what impacts real estate? Jobs. I mean, I know there's a lot of other factors. You say location, location, location. Yeah, okay. I mean, if your house backs up to 285, you probably have a problem. But job growth, because if you don't have jobs, what happened in 2008? Why is now not like 2008? Because we had unemployment, we had job shrinkage, we had a contraction in the economy. But in Atlanta, Georgia, I mean, I don't know what's going on the West Coast, and I don't care what's going on in the Northeast, and their experience over the next 12 months probably will be different than ours. But we're what's called a sunshine state, and populations are migrating here and jobs are migrating here. This is where people want to be. And as long as people have jobs, they remain optimistic. You're not buying a house. If you don't have a job, you're not buying a house. Is that fair? If you don't have a job, Rob, I'm joking with you right now. But Rob, if we fire you today, you and your wife going to go out and look for a bigger, nicer, more expensive house tonight?
No.
No. You're going to stay where you are. You might liquidate that to generate cash, but you're not expanding.
Right.
Rob, I come to you, and this is not going to happen either, Rob, but I come to you and I give you a 50% raise today. Might you go home tonight and start talking about the next house?
More like lunchtime today. Yeah.
Job growth is coming to the Atlanta market, and it's going to continue through 2022. And that's what drives real estate. You ain't buying a house if you don't have a job, or if you're scared that you won't have a job, or if you're worried about your income declining. But none of those dynamics are going on today. We have more full employment now today, according to Dr. Yu, the NAR economist, than we had before the pandemic started. We've regained all of our jobs and more. As a matter of fact, what is the problem most businesses have right now? Yeah, they can't hire. Have you gone into a business and they've apologized? I mean, I went to a restaurant last week and 3/4 of the restaurant's empty and they're telling me they're on an hour wait. I'm like, what about all these tables? They're like, we don't have anybody to wait those tables. See, our problems are different right now. We don't have an unemployment problem. We have full employment right now. Everybody that wants a job, there's multiple employers that want them to come work for them. So the sky is going to fall. No. But where we started with this, watch, I'll get back on the highway here. Rob was wondering if I could. Front page of the Atlanta paper today is giving you your relevant content for the day. Folks, it's laying on the ground all around you. But as a professional, you have to open up, you have to have your antenna, you've got to allow it to flow into you. Some of you don't look at the Atlanta newspaper, which I find appalling. To call yourself a professional and not be aware of what's going on in the community in which you are a professional is you're not a professional. You're an amateur. You're a part-timer. You can't call you have to be looking at that. I think there's some mandatory data sources that I have to have in my life. I don't have to read every article every day. I don't do that. Right here next to my desk, I get this every day. So Wall Street Journal. Now, I would love for you to believe that I sit down and I read the Wall Street Journal every day. It's not true. I'm going to stick this in my backpack. And when I go home tonight, I'm going to be sitting in front of the TV before I fall asleep. And I'm going to be browsing through this. I'm reading headlines. If I see something that is relevant to me in our world, I'll read the first paragraph. The first paragraph tells me what's in the rest of the article. If it's not an article about the Georgia Bulldog football team, I'm probably not reading past the first paragraph. Okay? A little bit of self-honesty there. But it makes me aware of what's going on. Am I well-read? I could probably do better. But I just beat almost everybody else in this business. The Wall Street Journal, the Atlanta Business Chronicle, the Atlanta newspaper. If you got those 3 data sources every day, you would have more content than you could put out every day. And you wouldn't have to be coming up with it. And you wouldn't walk around saying, well, I would, but I can't think of anything. I have a very harsh term for that. Okay. It's called intellectual laziness. Don't be intellectually lazy. If you want to, then don't put all the burden on you. Here's what I think. I don't want to have to be that good every day. I'm not that good every day. I want to use other people's idea and go, that's right. We have full employment in the Atlanta market and we have thousands more jobs coming over the next 12 months. Real estate's not going to bust. It's going to continue to do just what it's doing right now. Why? Because we have population gain. We have more people moving here. We have more jobs coming here. It's the fundamentals of economics, right? Supply and demand. We have more demand coming than we have supply. Now, if you don't agree with that, please speak up and tell me why you don't agree with that. But if you do, then I need somebody to explain to me with more demand than we have supply, how prices are going down next year. Somebody help me understand that dynamic? Yeah, you can't. If anybody can, please speak up so I won't walk around saying stupid things anymore, okay? But there is no way prices can go down next year. Why? We have more demand. What would have to happen is something unthinkable that we can't imagine right now. Okay, well, what? Almost 2 years ago that happened. And temporarily, we had big job loss. Okay, well, if something like that happens again, a war, a disease, unthinkable stuff that happens once in a lifetime. Okay, otherwise, prices ain't going down next year. People that say that, they're dumb. Okay, Rob, sorry for that short commercial interruption. Back to you.
All right. So to his point, if you have the AJC, if you have the Business Chronicle, if you have the Wall Street Journal, if you have if you browse Forbes.com, any of these sources, and
hold on, I'm going to interrupt you again. Keeping Current Matters, great data source for real estate agents. Yep. NAR, great data source for real estate. Just go to their websites; they give it to you for free.
Yep.
Watch. You have to go to their website. Oh my gosh, yes. You have to click a mouse a couple of times. You have to actually do something. And then if you do that, if you go click, they go, okay, Tracy, since you moved your finger twice, we will give you all this information for free.
Pretty good deal.
Tracy, if you need like a finger massage after you click twice today, you call me. We'll get you somebody down there to rub those.
Okay, I will.
Just for clarification, it won't be Mike.
So all those places are great data sources. Keeping Current Matters is one of my favorite because this is how lazy I am. They actually take the information and reconfigure it and give me the message. Mm-hmm. I don't even have to do that. I don't even have to go, wow, there's all these jobs coming. How can that be bad for real estate? I wonder what that means. They just do all that for me. Okay, Rob, sorry, back to you. I'll stop.
Okay, so now that you have all these data sources, back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago, we got a couple of minutes left here, so I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. You have these data sources. You have a lot of data in these articles. And back what we said at the beginning is simplicity is now king. So you not only have one piece of content to post, you have dozens and dozens off of one thing that you consume. Whether it's the newspaper or Forbes.com or NAR.com or Keeping Current Matters, you've got multiple posts that you can now make. And keeping in the theme of simplicity is king, break it up. If it's the same topic and two things, they're so tightly related, you can make two posts at the same time, or break it up and schedule them throughout the week. But keeping in front of folks in 2022 and keeping it short and sweet and simple is going to be key. That's what's changing from content is king to simplicity is king. Okay. The other thing we talked about that a bunch of you have jumped on that did not hear in the beginning was that Google is eliminating cookies. Cookies are going away. Cookies are a thing that we've always had, we've counted on, we've dealt with, we've been able to track people's movement from place to place across the web and on our social media, and that part's going away in Q1 of 2022 as far as Google is concerned. Apple's already dealt with it with the privacy platform. This is Google's response. So it's imperative that you guys start moving your followers, your consumers of your content into your CRM that you own. They don't own it. You own it, and you can do what you want to with it. You can market to them as you want. Super important for you guys to start doing that. So start thinking about your CRM. Do you love it? Are you going to make a change? Are you going to do something? Get it right, because 2022 is coming and you're going to have to start filling it up with all these folks. Okay. So those were my two most important things that I wanted to talk about today.
Let's open it up to questions.
Absolutely.
Maybe we just shut everybody down, but if you've got a question, unmute, share it with us. So that means everybody did such a great job. Rob and I did such a great job. Nobody has any questions at all. Manuela, you unmuted. What you got?
I don't understand what you mean by cookies are going away. What does that mean for me?
After Christmas, nobody's allowed to eat any more cookies.
That's probably also true.
No.
Cookies are small little pieces of data that every time you visit a website or deposit it into your browser, into your cache on your browser. Okay. And then when you go somewhere else, they can see that you were at this other place, where you came from, where the source was, where you go next. It allows you to be tracked across the internet, every site that you go visit.
If you like these shoes, you might also like these boots.
So
Yes,
how do they know that?
But what does that have to do with us as real estate agents?
Here's what
we just needed something to talk about.
here's what it has to do. When someone goes and watches one of your videos on YouTube, or someone checks you out on Facebook while they're browsing Facebook, they watch one of your videos or piece of content there. And then they go and click on your website, or you run a Facebook ad, they click on your website. All of that's being tracked. So you know what piece of content got them there. You know that they've been there to actually see it. You're not going to have that option right away anymore until the industry gets this figured out. So without cookies, you have a lot less tracking going on. And that's bad for small businesses. It's really bad for small businesses like Mike mentioned that sell shoes. If you like these, you might like those. But real estate agents can use it as well. When people visit your website, they go to your contact page, they watch a video, you know where they come from and where they're going.
Okay, so watch. Here's an example of how it's used. You can do this too. How many of you have gotten a company lead referral from me? Okay, if you haven't, we need to talk. Yeah, don't hide. I saw some of you diving under the desk there. How do we know that those people were browsing for homes on our website? Yeah, I know, don't I? And so we work on this. So when you call them, they're like a little freaked out, right? So if I call you and I go, so Tracy, I see that you're on my website looking at homes, and you go, how do you know that? I'm like, because I'm standing outside your kitchen window staring at you right now. Right. No, cookies are, I'm invading your privacy, but you didn't have any privacy. There is no privacy. If you are expecting privacy in your life, you are crazy these days. There is none. This is Google and Apple's way of trying to become a tad bit more consumer friendly, but this is just going to get replaced by something else. Cookies track you, watch you, monitor you so that they can sell you things. How many ads do you think I get on golf products? There is no golf product that is made that I don't get an advertisement for. How do they know that? How do they know I play golf?
Cookies.
Because what you search, what you're looking for, what you're doing online.
Yep, that's right. So be careful what you're doing online. So it is the law of attraction. Yeah. Some of you are going, oh shit, no. The law of attraction, what you focus on expands.
Right.
So this is how that's true in the online world. In your personal world, it's true. So what you focus on does expand. I can show you example after example of that. The most common one is go buy a red car and then watch how many red cars you notice on the road today.
Yes.
So if what you focus on expands, then what are you focused on? And if you're a negatively oriented person, that's how people that are negatively oriented, it just gets worse and worse for them. Well, what you focus on expands. So when you put bad shit out there in the universe, guess what gets more for you? Right.
Yeah. So as this unfolds with Google, we're going to do another one of these and talk about what's replaced it or how you can best battle it and circumvent it. So we'll put together one of those coming up as well.
So as a way to finish today, I've got an idea. Why don't we all together do a good Georgia Bulldog woof, woof, woof right here at the end, and then we can disconnect. Ready? Ready, go. Woof, 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 woof.
Not me.
Have a good day.
All right,
Rob, get out.